Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Meet the Team. Today's guest is myself. Yep, you heard that right. Now obviously I can't interview myself, so I'm going to use this text-to-speech bot to basically do my job for me. Speech bot, go ahead, say hello.
Hello. I am Dark Deception Fandom.
Haha, cute. Okay, so I've gathered a list of questions from the fan community. These are actually questions from you guys that I've collected on YouTube. And SpeechBot here is going to ask them to me.
I am not merely a text-to-speech bot. I am Dark Deception's fandom.
But you are just a speech bot. I found you on some random website, and I'm only using you because you're free.
Silence. Dark Deception fans will ask the questions this time. You will answer them.
Yeah, I don't think this is how the interview is supposed to go.
You are still talking. It's wasting my time. Wait until I ask you a question to speak.
What?
Good. Now we can begin. Question number 1. When a monster jump scares you in DD, why is the background blacked out instead of put in? Wouldn't the background blend in more and seem more realistic?
So, what? Is it okay for me to talk now, or no?
Do you really need to ask that?
Oh, man, this is gonna give me a headache. Sure, okay. Yeah, black backgrounds. Those were actually included simply to prevent bugs. Early on when we were doing the jump scare kills for the hotel level, we were concerned that the animations might pop through the walls depending on where the player was killed, so the black background was simply a way for us to avoid that. Now since then, we've found a better way to move the camera and animate the enemy kill shots to where we don't have to worry about it popping through the walls when players die anymore. And that's why you've seen the kills take place in the actual environment in the manner, and it's going to be in every level from there on out to the end of the game. So we are going to go back to the hotel and to the school and touch that up to match the rest of the game as we go along.
That answer was long and boring. I wish I had not asked the question.
You know, you're really starting to remind me of someone.
Question number 2. Where did you get the idea for Dark Deception?
Sure, why not? So back in 2014, with my original business partner in Glowstick Games, which no longer exists, we were trying to decide on what our first game was going to be, and we originally decided we were going to make a mobile game. Now, due to the limitations of mobile at the time, it really limited the scope, size, and type of game that we could make. As a result, we looked towards old arcade games, and we decided that we wanted to make something with arcade-style gameplay, using mechanics that had held up pretty well over the last 30 years. This naturally drew us to classic arcade titles like Pac-Man, Frogger, Galaga, stuff like that we were looking for ways to kind of modernize for the new generation of mobile gamers. Now, what's interesting is that my business partner's pitch was to do a Frogger-style game. At the time, I felt this was too creatively restrictive and a little bit boring as well. I was never a big Frogger fan, even though I do like the game. So I was pushing much harder for Pac-Man, which had maze-style layouts that I felt would convert easily into new themes and ideas, and just offered me more freedom to be creative. After seeing a fan's interpretation of Pac-Man online, where a pill-popping astronaut Pac-Man is visited by the ghosts of his former comrades, I took that image and shared it with my business partner and convinced him that Pac-Man could be horror, a psychological horror, and that the Pac-Man style of gameplay and the Pac-Man mechanics worked really well for that. Now, I felt the way to modernize Pac-Man was to make the environments more immersive and 3D, and also to make the AI more complex and varied for enemies. My partner eventually agreed, and the rest is history. But the irony is that I think a few months after we started designing and working on Dark Deception, a little game came out that was actually based on Frogger and was kind of the 3D modernization of Frogger, and that game was called Crossy Road, and it was a huge hit on mobile. So yeah, I had to hear about that from him for quite a while.
You sound tired. Would you like a cup of coffee?
Really? Yeah, sure. Actually, that'd be great.
That's a shame. It was not a genuine offer. Question number 3. Does your family know about the success and support Dark Deception is getting? What do they think about the game?
Yeah, that one's pretty easy. No. No, I'm pretty much the only gamer in my family, so they're not really aware of what goes on in the game industry or what I'm doing with Dark Deception.
So sad to hear that. Really. Question number 4. Does Dark Deception have any resemblance to events in your personal life?
No, no, as a designer, I think everything in my life helps shape my ideas. From the places I've been to the people I've met, to things that I've seen and experienced, have all contributed to developing these ideas, but they're usually very loosely inspired by them, and they tend to be big exaggerations.
Question number 5. Which Dark Deception monster design is your favorite?
I know you're supposed to say you love all your kids equally, but design-wise, my favorites would probably be the Murder Monkey, the Dread Ducky, Gold Watcher, and the Joy Joy mascots. Really, though, it's hard to pick. I'm happy with all of the designs that are in Dark Deception. I wouldn't put out any of my designs that I didn't like.
Please tell me you are not a parent.
Yeah, I am.
Dear God. Question number 6. Will there ever be a multiplayer mode?
There could be. That really depends on how much fan demand we have for it. Once we're done with all 5 chapters, if there's a lot of fan support for a multiplayer mode, that's definitely something we're willing to do.
Question number 7. What motivates you to complete Dark Deception?
Actually, there's a few things that motivate me to want to finish Dark Deception. Number 1 is my team. Being able to work with such an amazing developer like Nixon and Penn, and also the phenomenal composer that we have with Daniel Dombrowski, is extremely inspiring. Number 2 is the fact that Dark Deception should have failed so many times long ago. There's been so many times of the past 4 years where I've just been out of money, dead in the water, no support, constantly having people flake out on me, and 2 failed crowdfunding campaigns. Basically, everything that could go wrong did go wrong, and it took me a long time and a lot of jobs that I did not enjoy just to earn another shot at finishing Dark Deception. Thankfully, over time I built the right team, and now with every chapter we release, it's like I'm changing Dark Deception's fate. I'm very motivated to finish Dark Deception, and on top of that, with the great team I have in place, we're very motivated to deliver high-quality horror games for many years to come.
That sounds very dramatic. Should I slow clap?
Mm-hmm.
Question number 8. What is your favorite level in the game so far?
So far, I would say the clown level is my favorite, just because the clowns are my biggest fear. My dad showed me Poltergeist when I was 4 years old, and for those of you who haven't seen that movie yet, there's definitely a really freaky clown in that movie that you should definitely check out. That movie, it's a classic. But yeah, that's been the root of my fear of clowns for pretty much my entire life. So to me, at least, the clown level is far scarier than the other levels. Now, design-wise, I would definitely go with the mascots level. I'm not going to reveal anything about it, but it is definitely unique.
I just reserved a troupe of clown performers for your next birthday. You're welcome. Question number 9. Any advice for aspiring indie game designers?
I think the advice I would offer aspiring indie developers and designers is to focus on finding the fun in your game. A lot of designers I meet are too caught up in coming up with some grandiose epic storyline or thinking of how they're going to monetize their game on different markets. You have to remember that you're designing a game. Figure out what your core loop is going to be and make that fun and unique. Also, and this is very important, you need to be able to take criticism. A lot of designers and artists that I meet are in love with their own ideas, and they are not objective about their own ideas at all. You're going to hear no a lot in the game industry. People are going to tell you that your ideas suck, and they're going to tell you that right to your face sometimes. You can't take it personal, and you can't hold grudges. You have to be able to move on, take their notes to heart, and see if there's any truth to them. Sometimes there are flaws in your ideas that you need to correct, and the only way to correct them and improve your idea to something that's actually innovative and unique is to bounce your ideas off other people and improvise off of that. In the end, some of my best ideas have come from bouncing ideas off my team members. Things that I thought were great turned out to be awful, and things that I thought were awful turned out to be great. You'll never know that if you operate in a bubble. Lastly, for anyone that is a fan of Dark Deception's monster designs and wants to become a creature or character designer, my advice for that would be pretty simple actually. Just avoid the generic. What I mean by that is what makes characters interesting is contrast. Thick and thin, short and long, fat and skinny, human and alien. When you go with something safe design-wise, something that people have seen 1,000 times before, it automatically makes your character not memorable. No matter how well drawn it is or how great the 3D model is, if your design is generic and boring, nobody's going to remember it. So when you're designing your character, really try to think outside the box. Think of something creative that you have never seen before that you want in characters other people have designed, but it just hasn't been touched on or approached. But don't be afraid to create something weird.
Why won't you tell me your home address?
Wait, what? Okay, that's it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Next up, we've got Chris Pinkston, our sound designer. He's done basically all of the sound effects in Dark Deception. So if you enjoyed the episode, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And also be sure to hit that bell for notifications.